Hey Baron, how you doing, man? Wait, let me fix that. How you doing, Baron? Do you hear me okay? No. Can you hear me, Baron? Because, oh, it is, yeah, it is my thing's moving now. I'm using a new device, so it's probably a little bit quiet. Let's see if I can turn it up. Is that a little bit louder? Yeah, okay, Ron, I've put the link in the chat. I can't believe what I've just watched. I was pretty shocked at what I saw last Friday. I didn't make it known to Tony or anyone else. I did do a little chat about it, but it was very controlled and hopefully adult. But his defiance is just sickening. It's horrible. You could see that because he got a little bit of support in the room tonight. He was almost empowered. He had an extra level of defiance to him.
Hello, mate.
Hey, Ron, how you doing, man?
Yeah, you got a mic issue there, mate.
Have I? I'm using a totally device.
Yeah, it's crackling crazily.
Oh, shit. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to unplug.
Yeah, crackling and sort of bubbly. Hello, everybody. Wasn't that something? Wow. You had so many opportunities there. And then hit the final punch. Wow. What can you say?
Is that any better, Ron?
Nah, it's still the same, mate.
Okay, I need to... Right, I'm going to switch devices. You hang on there, I'll be 2 seconds.
Okay, mate, yep. No problem. So come on then, chat. What's your thoughts on what you just heard? Wow. It's rather clearly his views are more important than his integrity. Is that what it's called, or whatever? You know, his morals. I think somebody said moral. Yeah, morals.
He actually doesn't think he's done anything wrong.
He doesn't think he's done anything wrong.
That's it.
And that's terrible. He was the adult. He was the one in control of the whole thing. Boot.
I did tell him.
I don't know. You know, fucking hell, he ain't old. So, you know, he has got senile dementia or something. You know, so can't have that as an excuse. You know, it's... Wow.
How's that, Ron? Is that better?
Ah, that's better, mate.
I've just switched devices. I could hear you talking while I was doing that. And to answer your question, he couldn't give a fuck what you think or what I think or anyone else.
No.
I was shocked at that. I was a bit more shocked at that than I was the actual thing, you know. And to see him with his arms proudly crossed across his stomach with a sort of a smug look on his face because he got support in that room. It empowered him greatly, and he wasn't taking any prisoners after that. He was standing by his fucking guns, sticking to his guns.
Well, I'm just glad that it was because I kept on thinking about it. I thought, no, I'm not going to ask that question. But Lynn asked the question. I thought, yes, she's asked a very good question here. And that was, right, so you're going to take it down?
Yeah.
I thought, yes. And that's coming from a female as well. I thought, yeah, come on, Lynn. Yeah, you've asked the right question. You know, from a female's perspective. And when he said no, that's why I had to leave the panel. I thought, I'm off. I'm off. You know, what is there to say? I can't help you anymore, Tony.
There's a fella that I know professionally who reminds me a lot of him. And again, he's no children. And he's a similar age as well, maybe a couple of years older. And the same, absolutely soulless when it comes to children. Soulless. No understanding of the implication of damage to children. And that's the only way I can put it. And that's what Tony had tonight. That's what I saw tonight. Couldn't care less.
Actually, I know somebody else is like that. And he ain't got kids. Gringle.
Oh, I thought you were thinking of that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, except he's a sort of emotional wreck, sort of fucking out of control one. But yeah. No,
well, you only have to look at Theresa May, Jacinda Ardern, the German one, Angela Merkel. You know, they're all childless.
Yeah.
They're all soulless monsters. But,
you know, if he had just turned around and said to Lynn, he had the opportunity when Lynn said, why don't you just take it down? There you go. And I thought, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, he was on full defiance, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He just kept saying everyone was calling me pedo, but I just
see, that's the other thing I wanted to hit on, but I thought, but when Lynn did the killer blow, I thought, right, I'm off and everything. But I was going to turn around and say, like it was pointed out, you're looking at chat, and that's what he was doing on that day. He was reading out all the nice things that were being said, but all the people which are saying, Tony, you need to sort your channel out, he wasn't reading those out, and he did exactly the same thing with this one, except it was the opposite way. It was anybody which was having a go at him, he'd read it. You know what I mean? It's like, hang on a minute. This is a reverse to the chat which was going on your live, and you're, oh, fucking hell.
Well, whilst he was refusing to delete it, I had a look on his channel, and that one video, he's got like 4,000 views on it, and the next video he's got 1,000 views. So it's all about the views, baby.
Yeah, clearly. You know, everybody. Yeah, go on, Vince.
I was just going to say, I wondered if, you know, in the time that he leaves it up, if she turns out to be 15 or 16 and her dad catches that, it's going to be funny.
Wow, what did Lynn say? If it's my daughter, I'll be straight after you.
Well, I did think about coming on, but I don't know Dino at all. I've never spoken to him, so I didn't want to be rude. You know, he doesn't know me, so he would have dismissed me out of hand, quite rightly so. But I wanted to say to Tony, go and speak to your neighbour's 15 or 16-year-old daughter like that and see how long it lasts. Go and have that conversation with one of your nieces at a family wedding of that sort of caliber. See how long it lasts. And he kept saying, I'm not a pedo. Maria Moon never called him a pedo. It was very strange that he reacted with, I'm not a pedo, to something that Maria said, which was not pedo related. But I'm sorry, once you allow a child to get into a conversation with you on those lines, I'm sorry, but you're fucking heading very close towards pedodom.
Well, let me just say this. All I can say is this: she looked very young. If she was underage, I do not know. But since she looked very young, the conversation shouldn't have fucking occurred. When you
Yeah.
don't know, when in doubt, fucking get out.
Fucking
And there
right.
was doubt there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You
absolutely.
fucking run.
Pull the cord and jump.
Yes, exactly. And there was doubt there, a lot of fucking doubt. So, you know, fucking jump while you fucking can.
Yeah. Just let me address Anthony. Anthony, I didn't mean all people without children, because I went for a long time without having children, and then, you know, sort of it happened, luckily enough. I did point out I have a friend who's very much like Tony. I didn't say I have a friend who's got no kids. I did sort of I did make sure I didn't offend anyone there. So sorry, Anthony, if you read that wrong.
No, I think you didn't.
Yeah, that was horrible. I think you should remove it. But then this thing tonight has just empowered him. He's gonna be doubling down on it now.
Yeah.
You thought he was a joke.
Yeah, you know, he liked the attention, and that was one of the worrying sides of it. When you have enough people come on there, which you've been talking to for at least a year, and they all come on there, which they did come on there all calmly, except for one person and everything right near the end. But everybody come on there. Bear a couple of times went on there and very calmly spoke to Tony and everything. Film Boy went on there, spoke very calmly to Tony.
Yeah.
Laura went on there, spoke very calmly to Tony. I went on there again and spoke very calmly to Tony and what have you. None of us give them abuse or anything. Torps went on there, spoke to him very calmly and said that this isn't looking right. And, you know, he booted a good few people who he's been chatting to for a year. And it's like, so you're not listening to, I know they're not your friends because they're not in reality friends, but
no,
you know.
But he enjoyed coming on the lives, didn't he? He was accepted by all. And
yes.
I think he lost a few friends, not many. I don't think there's many of us that are feeling this way. One thing I would have said to Dino was, you know, you're very dismissive of people who seem resolute in holding on to their morals and principles, Dino, because their morals and principles belong to them. You know, Dino was very dismissive of anyone who had an opinion which went against it, and that's wrong.
Dino tries to be a pretty good mediator. He tries to leave it central focused and what have you to get to the root of things. Well, what's that? I'm trying to figure. Oh, yeah, that's it. See, he's a little. Dino's pretty much like me. He's very in the middle and everything, and observes and what have you before he comes to a judgment. You know what I mean? He's very observant of what's going on. So he rather likes to sit there and observe and what have you and listen to all the discussions from all sides, you know what I mean, before he'll make his final judgment. He is very much like that. That's one of the reasons why I do like Dino. He also because he has a lot of the same views as what I have. But you know what I mean? No, but he's a pretty fair person. See, and that's what he always turned around and said was that obviously he was putting it over that I haven't seen it, watched it all and everything. I know some of it, you know, and some people may not have watched it, but they jumped on the bandwagon, which is true. Some people do, we know on here. and everything. But for me, you and most of the people which are in the chat and on Dino's chat and then every other chat, we all sort of saw it all. Well, I didn't see some of it because obviously I come over to your live. I thought I need to fucking get away from this shit place of a fucking live. It was like, wow, I can't take any more of this. It was a shit show.
I do tend to find with Dino, I've listened to Dino quite a few times, I tend to find him a bit of a romantic idealist in the sense that he will try to find middle ground, and you can't do that.
Yeah,
with
sometimes.
hardly any subjects.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
which is a
very
nice
hard.
thing for him to do.
Mhm.
But as soon as Crinkle came on, he was hardline. I know Crinkle had been a bit of a dick beforehand, and I didn't see that.
Yeah,
People
the
pointed it
problem
out
Crinkle had
afterwards.
though, Vincent, was that Vincent, see, the problem Crinkle did, and that's what I said straight away. Crinkle shouldn't have put his emotional side of his stuff in with Tony's, and that's what he did. He was comparing the two, and I thought, well, you've already made Dino emotional, you know, to bring his side. It was about what's happened where Tony's live was concerned, not Dino's emotional, personal thing. This was all about Tony's life. So Crinkle went in it full blast, bang, bang, bang. And that's why I turned around and said straight away, right, let's separate because you're emotional, Dino. So straight away, he put Dino on the defensive because he had brought Dino's personal life into, yes, exactly. So he fucked up the whole conversation. He screwed it up, turned it around, span it around to his own his own. Oh, everybody talk to me. You know what I mean? So everybody Lynn was talking to him. Everybody, because that's what he does.
Well, I know we'll disagree on this, Ron, but I felt Ronnie, I've just had a text message from a girlfriend, a girl who's a friend of mine called Ronnie, as I was talking to. I felt Crinkle's point was quite logical. I know Crinkle gets a bad press, but I thought it was quite a logical conclusion to draw. And Dino was not prepared to see both in the same light, but they are very similar situations. And then later on, Dino said, it's time to draw a line. I don't think we should hold Tony to account. So I posted in the comments, well, what about MBCK? Is it time to draw that line? Probably not those words. And do we no longer hold him to account? Same thing.
Yeah, but the problem with that one, I understand where you're coming from, but the problem with that one is that Crinkle had already brought the emotional side of Dino into the conversation. So Dino wasn't going to see it the way how he saw it afterwards. When I turned around and went on there, I said, right, take this side of the equation out. Let's get rid of this side, you know, Dino's personal life, and let's concentrate on this. And then obviously then his mind could go, right, yes, thank you very much. Right, let's stick to what it should be all about, and that is a video. Let's discuss about it, you know what I mean? And that's what Crinkle did. He rolled Dino up before it even started.
Yeah.
Before you get down to the crux of it. So I have to defend Dino on that side of it because he'd already brought Dino's own emotions of a situation which has occurred in his personal life. And you shouldn't compare to, otherwise, you know, Dino, your brain just cannot work properly. I don't think your brain can work properly when somebody brings in your emotional situation into another problem to try to argue the two, because obviously Dino's going to think defensive.
Well, Dino proved your point there.
Yeah.
Dino proved your point by immediately going to, you know, Crinkle's mother, Crinkle's sister is a prostitute, you know, which I thought was a bit childish, really. I didn't think that that had any relevance to anything.
But
But again, I'll press this. I've seen Dino when he brings Crinkle in. He does it for the wow factor. He knows Crinkle's coming in with a hell-bent, half-cocked a view or opinion on something. He knows that.
Yeah, he knows. Dino knows my views where Crinkle is concerned. Well, I think everybody knows my views where Crinkle is concerned. I can't do anything about people who want him on their panels. You know what I mean? Because it's their panels. They've got the control, and that's what I was saying to Tony. You had the power. You was in the seat.
Yeah.
You had all the power. You know what I mean? So if somebody wants somebody on a panel and everything, then I've got no say in it. I have got the power if I want to stick or stay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. But also,
and
when
that's
you
how it
ask your
goes in that
opinion,
way.
you'll give it.
Mhm.
And you asked your opinion tonight, and they didn't take it very well.
No, but you know, I couldn't stick up for Crinkle at all because he went in there with both guns blazing as he normally does, put his foot in his mouth and everything, and I thought, why are you going in there to get the wow factor and the fucking attention all on you? So everything which was directed was going to get. Dino's question was directed at him, Paul's question was directed at him, Lynn's question was directed at him, because I want to be the centre of attention. You know what I mean? And not getting to the crux of the problem. And he did that on another live. He did that earlier on. He went on Locals, did exactly the same thing.
Did he? I wanted to go on Locals, but I was out all evening. He did make exactly the same point. First point that I would have made is to draw that comparison. It's a cheap one, but it's an obvious one, you know.
Yeah, but you're not going to get to the crux of the problem then. That's what I'm saying, is that if you bring the host's situation, which they have on a separate matter, into the equation, then what you're trying to resolve, the host has already put his guard up, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? He's right. He's now feeling like he's been attacked. His daughter's been attacked, or whatever might be going through Dino's head at that time. Because now it's like, whoa. So I didn't think that was the correct way of trying to address the issue of what, as a viewer, because that's what we are as viewers, the situation we have where Tony is concerned by directing somebody else's emotion. Now, if you said, well, of this person and that person who are out of the equation, like I know somebody of Tony and I know somebody of Fred and what have you, and it is like a similar matter, then okay. But when you're bringing somebody on the panel with an emotional attachment to a family member and everything, and you've already rolled up the host. You've already,
then,
you know,
so
got the backup.
He's the only person in the world who was able to present that logic that Crinkle did. Is the father of Jazzy.
Well, this is it. This is it. You know, I saw it from a perspective of, you know, I could have gone on there and spoke about one of my children, two of my children actually, and brought my emotions in on that side of it. And I could have ripped Tony a new arsehole. But I can't, because it's a completely different situation. So you know what I mean? So I had to block those emotions out of the equation and try to put it right, you know, and do it rationally instead of making it a shit show. And that's what that's what Crinkle did, made into a shit show.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it anyway. He made it into a shit show where there's a whole load of talking over, a load of shouting, load of this, load of that, where nothing got solved.
Yeah, but the way I see it, if I just present my case.
Yes, of course you can, mate. Sorry.
To finish on that. No, it's okay, Ron. I love you speaking, so don't think I'm saying stop. Is that effectively both cases are identical. We've got a mature male seemingly taking advantage of a younger girl. And that's as simple as I can put it. And they're pretty identical cases.
Well, no, they're not identical cases because Dino's dealt with it because it's his daughter. So he is actually dealing with that situation. So that's why I say if the situation was about Tony, not about some other situation which is occurring, which that person is dealing with that situation. That's the point I'm making, is that you can't put the two in together, because the situation with this Jazzy may never get sorted unless her father gets involved. Like you said, unless her father or mother or brother or whoever gets involved, if there is one, you know what I mean? So, but trying to connect two, that's what I'm saying, that I could connect two of my children into it, but that brings my emotions into trying to get my message across, which will not work. Because obviously once your emotions get into it, you start going off on a tangent and all this shit. So you have to keep your own emotions separate, and that's how I feel Crinkle had done it. He had brought Dino's personal emotions, which are still rife at the moment, because I don't think he feels that he's had closure. So until he has closure with that situation, then it's not, I don't think it's the right time to try to connect two dots together, because it ends up being a shit show, and it was a shit show to begin with.
It was.
You know what I mean? There's too many people shouting over each other. Wasn't getting anywhere.
The fact that Tony had no remorse, he's not killed anyone, but Tony just had that couldn't care less attitude, and at points was waving at the camera telling people to shush. I find that really difficult to process as a mature male who's about 8 years younger than Tony. I find that really hard to process, to the point where I don't even view him as an adult male, And I'm not invested in Crinkle's point. I know I keep coming back to this. I'm not trying to hammer his point at all, so please don't think that, Ron. But it was very interesting what Crinkle did as well, and he did it very well. And what he did was he got Dino to view the situation from Jazzy's father's perspective. And you saw his back go up straight away, because it just contradicted everything that he'd spoken about for the previous hour. And as I said, he got quite emotional and started taking emotional shots at Crinkle, which they came out of nowhere. They came out of nowhere.
But that's my point, is that he should have stuck with one direction and one direction only. Don't bring the host's own emotions into his personal stuff, into, right, here we are, let's talk about the shit show on a live, let's concentrate on that and that alone, leave the personal issue which he is dealing with himself in his own personal way. And that's what I'm saying, is that it ended up being a shit show. I just, as soon as Crinkle went on there and I heard what he was typing in the bag, and when Dino was saying, should I have him on, I thought, yeah, I can see where this is going. It's just going to be a shit show. And it was. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because he'd already, before he'd even got on the panel, he'd riled Dino's back up, and he knew it.
Yeah.
He knew
Oh,
what he'd done before he'd even got on the
Crinkle
panel.
skillfully did that. I was
Yeah,
laughing my fucking
yeah,
arse off when I was hearing that,
yeah,
because
yeah,
you could see the kerfuffle it caused, you know.
yeah.
Graham Mark points out, I couldn't understand why Dino was answering most of the questions on behalf of Tony. This is something that occurred to me very early on as well. And he did, you know, where was Tony's 150 IQ points tonight? Were they fucking out on the razzle or something? Because they weren't there.
See, and I can't answer that question on behalf of somebody else and how they. All I know is that I thought, right, if I'm able to get on there, I'll get it back to what it's all about, and you know, get it back on point. So hopefully, Tony can explain himself, and let's all move on and what have you. But at the end of it, Tony showed that he really don't give a shit about people's opinions or views or caring. You know what I mean? And that was it. People were caring. I didn't hear anybody giving him abuse when they went up on the panel of his live. They were just saying, Tony, will you please reconsider? In other words, will you please reconsider what you're doing? You know what I mean? I didn't swear at him. I didn't hear Bear swear at him. I didn't hear Film Boy swear at him. I know Ronnie can get fucking emotional, but he didn't swear at him. Torps didn't swear at him. He talked calmly and everything, and he's booting people off. He's quick on the button. Boo, 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 boo. And that's what I don't understand is you're
Suddenly he
booting the
learned
people.
how to censor
Yeah,
on his channel.
he had the power. He had the power at that point, but not the power to listen, to use his brain. 150 fucking IQ, you know, to go, oh, hang on a minute. I've had 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people now who I've been talking to for a very long time saying exactly the same thing. Maybe they've got a point.
Yeah.
So that's why I'll go up there and stick on point. But I don't know, mate.
I did find something else out a couple of days ago as well. I don't know if you noticed, but we had a very strange night with mostly insects. And
oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, very odd night. He wanted to start Trouble from the start, and by the end of it, when we were in the back room, it just went ludicrous. But one of the things I said to him was that he'd gone on to Tony's live and screamed obscenities at this girl, and I found it to be offensive. And he defended that point, saying, you know, he felt right within his point to do that, and then it got even more ludicrous after that. I found out in a conversation with somebody else, after he'd gone in there and told everyone what he thought of them morally, he went on to stay there for the rest of the stream, was modded up, and then spent the rest of the stream getting rid of all the negative comments. Now there's a turnaround in morality.
See, to me, I've got to admit, when I went on that panel, I was the first one up on that panel, on that Tony stream, and I felt like saying to the girl, will you shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
Because she was just talking over me. But I think Bear jumped on, and he ended up speaking to Tony before I got there. And, you know, I said, Tony, you know, you need to read your chat. You know what I mean? Really read it. I said, it's up to you how I can remember that near enough word for word. I turned around and said to him, like, you know, it's your channel. You do what you think. You know, you got the power. But, You know, I think you need to read your chat and listen to people. So I said, you know, I'm off. But I must admit, I did feel like saying to her, shut the fuck up. I'm just trying to speak to Tony. And I had that other fucking idiot with speaking as well. Oh,
Hey,
I thought,
JJ.
why don't you shut up? Hello, Uncle JJ.
Hello, lads. Hello, lads.
Hello,
How you
mate.
doing, man?
Have you got a new channel?
Who?
Uncle JJ.
You're up late,
Uncle
JJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just woke up. I was really ill yesterday. I ate something that made my stomach bad, so
Oh, no.
I took the opportunity just to get a bit of sleep and woke up. Now, all much better.
We've just
Good.
had Tony P on Dino's live to kind of justify himself, and there was no justification whatsoever. He was even more defiant than he was when it happened in the first place, and it was
Yeah,
quite
worse.
hard watching.
Wow,
Worse. Made it worse.
made it worse, and he's not taking no responsibility. He just needs to move on from it and take responsibility and say, yeah, I messed up. I'm a silly old
Yeah.
git. I messed up.
Yeah.
I do apologise. I won't do it again. Let's move on.
Forgiveness is a very sort of easy trait to have in people, you know. If he was honest, straightforward, and hold his hands up, I'd forgive him. I probably wouldn't be so friendly with him, but I'd forgive him.
Yeah. You know, he's
Well,
a silly old git. He made a mistake. He just wouldn't listen to anyone. I went on there and I said to him, listen, Tony, it's disgusting what's gone on. I asked him several times, I said, you need to, Tony, please, you need to get her off his life. He wouldn't listen. And in the end, I was getting a little bit angry. I said, look, I'm getting a bit angry now. You need to kick me off. And he just kicked me off instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you was up there as well and got kicked. Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I was trying to say to him tonight. You was kicking all the people that you've been talking to for a long time. You're kicking them off, and you're not, you know, and they're not being nasty or anything. I didn't realise that you actually went up there as well.
Yeah.
And
Go up
tried.
there. I said to him, I said, listen, mate, you're doing all this and that. You're blaming that young girl. I said, you're blaming her for everything. All right. I said, you're not taking no responsibility for what you allowed her to do. You have the power up there. And anyway, he
Yeah.
kept justifying it, blaming her. And I said, look, you're really making me angry now. I think you better kick me off or I'll get angry. And he did. Instantly. Done that then.
There you
You
go.
know?
There you go. Like I said, you reap what you sow.
You
Yeah.
do.
And that's what you've done,
You
Tony.
do. Another thing that wasn't mentioned tonight was that he had somebody on there who was about 30, 35 years old who admitted to having a relationship with a 15-year-old girl
Yeah.
on that live, you know.
Well, I did hit on that. I turned around and said, did they come as a duo?
Oh, did you? I didn't quite catch that.
Yeah, I
ran
did
to the
say that. I
toilet.
said, you know, I did wonder if they come as a duo. Very familiar. Two people out of the fucking blue end up on the channel. Coincidence?
Yes. No.
Yeah, exactly,
Not at
mate.
all.
I think
Not
maybe
at
he was
all.
set up. He's a vulnerable old man. He's made a silly mistake. All he had to do is just get rid of her. All he has to do now is accept responsibility for saying, I'm a silly old fool. It seems to want to justify everything. And
he didn't even have to kick her. All he really had to turn around and say is, look, if you don't curve it, you know what I mean, and stop this fucking conversation now you're trying, how you're straying, then I'm going to have to boot you. Simple as.
he allowed it and kept giggling and laughing. And then his justification was, all I'd done was laughed. I mean, just that laugh alone was enough to tell people, look, come on, man, this is weird.
Well, she was mentioning threesomes and all this. You know what I mean? Surely that goes, whoa, what the fuck is this conversation? It's going down that road? No, excuse me. I'm not on here for that.
Yeah, it did go a bit mad. I felt really sorry for his wife. I really did.
I did. I
She
did.
condoned it. She did condone it. I'll admit that, but I did feel sorry for her.
Mm,
We did too.
yeah, we
But her
did.
reaction was
But
just
when
weird.
Bear went on there again, and Ronnie did, when Debs was there, and Ronnie did. Well, Ronnie's Ronnie, isn't he? So he's pretty
Yeah.
explicit. You know what I mean? And he come out with some things, but I thought, well, that's justified. You know what I mean? But I was expecting Deb to go, fucking what?
Yeah.
Fucking turn that thing off right now. You know
Ron,
what I
I'd have
mean?
never got away with that with any woman I've
I
ever
know.
known.
But I fucking seriously.
Yeah.
And Ronnie
Yeah.
didn't hold it back, and good, top notch to him. He thought, no, let me put this plain and very fucking clear. But
I used to get
I
3 days
thought
of hell if I looked at a woman for too long. Some of the relationships I've had.
Yeah, I can admit I've had that and all. Yeah, I
exactly.
know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was sitting in a fucking wimpy bar, mate, and I this is when I started dating Maria Moon. She's sitting there laughing, right? And she's saying to me, "Shut up!" But seriously, obviously, we moved back to the town that I grew up in, yeah. And there was this girl who was working at this wimpy bar before we had McDonald's, people. So a very fucking long time ago. And so I thought, right, this girl might come up and start talking to me and everything. And Maria Moon's from another fucking county and everything. So I thought, right, this girl. So I turned around and said, "There's this girl here. She works here." And I thought, and she's going to me, "Which one is it?" I thought, no, it's irrelevant. She said, if she comes up and speaks to me, so I just sat there, I thought vibe straight away, and I looked in one direction. All of a sudden, I went smack right across my fucking face. Oh, whoa! So yeah, exactly. That's what I thought Deb was going to do. Was going to go bosh.
Yeah.
Right. So that fuck. That's a reaction. That's a natural reaction. That's what I was expecting to see. To be honest.
Well,
Yeah.
in my experience, there's only one way that someone you're in a relationship with won't be bothered if you get attention elsewhere or if you go looking for attention elsewhere. And that is if there's a very loose bond between you.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't been together long.
Or if you're oppressed, or if you're so dominant. Some people can dominate people in relationships, can't they? Where they just do whatever the other person wants, really.
Do you like being dominated, JJ?
I have been dominated a few times, and I did like it. I must admit.
It's 5
Well,
in the
we know
morning. You can
too
say
much
whatever you
about
want. There's no
Ronnie.
one listening.
Fuck me. Yeah, we
I've
know
been
about
into a little
Ronnie
bit of
as well.
domination
He's
in my
so
time.
open.
But on a serious note, it's true, isn't it? Some
Yeah,
people
it
can be
is.
so oppressive, so like domineering with people that they can totally run a person's life.
It can. And people
seen
allow
it.
them
I've
to do it
seen it.
willingly as well sometimes. I think it's an observation of mine. And some
I get
people
women,
won't.
people that like that and want that, but you've got to get the difference between what you do in a bedroom to what you do in real life. Now, if you're doing that to someone in real life, in their everyday life, that's destructive, isn't it, don't you think?
It's harmful, yeah.
So maybe it could be that. You don't know. It's just conjecture, isn't it, really? But
when I went to family court, her barrister presented that I was a domestic abuser. I was controlling. I was like, she even said in her statement, I was like Fritzl, the guy who locked his family away for 30 years.
Yeah.
And the truth was quite the opposite. And
Exactly.
I, in my statements, presented all of the evidence to the contrary, and yeah, it was a strategy, an employed strategy. Her barrister had just said, there's one way you're gonna get good results here, and that's by saying this, and this.
Exactly. I've had that in a divorce. Something very, very, very similar. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the barristers. They come up with a load of bullshit, and unfortunately, the law really is really stacked up against the man, isn't it? in
In a
that
family
respect.
court, it is. I got
Yes,
such a result in the family court you wouldn't believe, and I never thought I would. I did. Took a year and a half to do it
No,
as well.
sorry, I'm reading what Maria Moose just put in the chat.
Ah, yeah.
She was only 17 when she belted me across my head.
Does he still get a lot of female attention, Maria?
But when we go out, yeah.
No, I
Is he
don't.
Yes, you do.
is he a
No,
is
I
he a bit
don't.
of a stud muffin?
He's a flirt.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've
No,
always
not
thought
a
he was a
flirt.
bit
is our
No, no,
master
slutty.
on
no.
the
Hang
flirt? Is that
on,
why he
hang
calls
on,
himself the
hang on,
master?
hang on, hang
Okay.
on, hang on. No, I call everybody girl. Yeah, so all right, girl. And the old ladies love it. I've always been that way, and they go, "Oh, I haven't been all right, girl. I haven't been called a girl for a long time." You know what I mean? I call everybody, "All right, girl. All right, mate." That's how I am.
You know what? That's
So,
similar. I'm like that as well. I always say, young
yeah,
lady, let the young lady through the door, and
yeah,
it could
yeah.
be
That's just the
90,
way I am.
100. You say, come on, young lady, beauty before the beast. You know, I
Mm,
think it's the way we are when we're
no.
old school, aren't we, mate?
Yeah, old school. That's exactly what it is.
I don't
It's
think that's
old
more
school.
flirtation. I think it's manners and just trying to cheer someone up.
It's
Yeah.
charm, isn't it? And it's
Yeah, a
a
little bit of
sadly
charm.
lacking quality is charm.
Chivalry, I would call it.
Yeah, of
Put
course.
it this way: if I'm walking, when I used to be fit and healthy and everything, and I'd be walking through town, I'd have my dark glasses on, I'd have my headphones on, and I'd have my head down and everything. And this is it. I wouldn't know who I'm walking past, but I was walking along this street, and this person with a buggy kept on. Right, I'm seeing this person with a buggy coming up towards me, so I swerved over to the left, and the buggy went to the left. I went to the right, the buggy went to a right, and this kept on happening until we got closer and closer. I looked up. It was a mate of mine's missus with the buggy, with the kid and everything, and she stood on purpose, get my attention. Right. I thought, what the fuck is this person doing? Oh, hello. So now I'm oblivious to. I just want to get from A to B as quick as fucking possible. I didn't want to see anybody.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I do.
I understand that completely.
Yeah.
Right, Rally Ali said, "Fuck relationships."
Yeah, I'm not really good with relationships anymore. The last one got me in a lot of trouble.
I'm lousy, JJ.
She was a
Honestly,
nightmare.
lousy.
I mean, it was all great. It was more of a lust thing. I thought it was love, but all I had to do was look in the direction of a woman, and it was drama like you would not believe. It was like, oh my god, what is going on? Start an argument over anything. But I'm going to be honest, I was so in tune with the way we gelled in the bedroom, if you know what I mean. It was just
Yeah.
great. That was just amazing. I mean, the most amazing. And then at the outside world,
Tell
like the
us,
real world,
tell us
was a
more, JJ.
nightmare.
Tell
A
us more.
nightmare. A complete nightmare. And that's all you're getting.
You get pickier as you get older, don't you? You know what you like and what you don't. And yeah, it's impossible for me now. So I've just got a succession of women that I
Yes,
visit, and
it's
that's
like a
it.
little harem sort of thing, mainly in Holland.
I haven't
That's a
really.
joke.
I haven't really.
I've got
Can't
a
be
lot of friends
bothered.
now. A lot of friends, I would say.
Yeah.
Best way, mate.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm happy to have a few years out. I've got stuff to concentrate on anyway, and I don't think they'd accept my having to go see my little son all the time and stuff like that. So, just wouldn't put it on anyone really.
Yeah, I like to
Marie
see my.
C's been
That's it.
called a
I've got my
flirt.
kids, my grandkids. I see my kids, my grandkids now, and it's really nice. They come mainly when they need something, but but yeah, it is nice just to see them now and again without the added pressure of having someone telling you what you can and can't do.
Yeah. Is it your first marriage one?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
First real relationship, yeah.
First real
Fantastic.
relationship as well.
Yeah.
Wow, you're lucky, man. I should have stayed with the first woman I fell in love with, and stupidly I didn't.
I made that mistake actually with someone I got married to. I was so messed up on drugs and shit, it just went pear shaped. And to be honest, I can't blame her one little bit in that relationship. Not one little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, what sprang from it was a beautiful daughter.
Do you get on
Yeah.
with her now?
Well, it's just strange. We talk every now and again. You know, we're on sort of a friends thing. It's not like a father and daughter thing with her.
Oh, I
It's
didn't mean
not.
your daughter. I meant your ex.
Oh, your ex?
Sorry,
No, I
JJ.
don't. No, I don't. No, I don't even talk to her.
Yeah.
That's all. That's so far under the bridge. It's untrue. That's many, many, many years ago, sort of thing. She's married, moved on, had other kids and shit.
I had my first love approach me about a year before I entered it with my ex, and I said to her at the time, obviously, you know, sorry, but and then a year later, fucking my world was turned upside down.
Yeah, it's
But
heartbreaking.
anyway, it's how it happens. But no, I don't tend to go over old ground either. It's a long time since then.
Yeah.
People change, don't they?
Exactly. Once it's over, innit? You just got to move on, totally move on. You can't live in the past.
There's about
I mean,
4
I've had loads of
billion women out there,
relationships, my God.
JJ.
There is.
There's about 4 billion women out there. Why wouldn't you want to
Exactly.
try as many as possible, you know?
I think it's come to a stage with me, like I'm 56 now, the last relationship didn't work, and it was not too long ago, and then I had one after that, and it just, none of them sort of worked. And I just thought to myself, do you know what? It's time to like throw the towel in, really.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not going to go. It's not going to go down. And I have a certain, I don't even know, I've got mental illnesses going on. And I fear that one day I might do, I haven't yet, but I might, who knows, I might do something stupid because of all that heartache and pain. And I thought, you know, the best thing to do is to not go through all that heartache and pain. Just stay
Keep
by
away.
myself and live the way I am, look after my kids. I've got kids, I've got grandkids, I enjoy that. And just, you know, step away from it in case something really does happen, because it was getting to the stage of where it was really, really affecting my mental health, like big time. Like not just a little bit, a lot.
Yeah.
So I thought I've got to step away from this in case something happens that I will live the rest of my life and regret over, or not live the rest of my life and regret over because I won't be here, if you understand what I'm saying.
But also, you can't rule out that you might meet somebody one day, JJ, that helps you to come to peace with all that.
I've thought that about all of them, bro. You know? Every time you meet one, you think, this is the one. And I thought, oh, this is it now. Be with this one forever. And you try different approaches each time. And, I don't know.
It's all life.
But yeah, you're right.
Life is all what ifs, isn't it? And Anthony asked me if I'd stayed with the first person I fell in love with, then I would have had children with her, Anthony.
Right.
But as it turned out, she never had children.
What is that saying? It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all.
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Better to have loved as many as you can, JJ.
And I have loved many.
I bet you have.
And I've got children and I've got grandchildren. And if I didn't love this many, I wouldn't have all these beautiful, beautiful grandchildren and children.
I get the impression you make me and Ron look like amateurs when it comes to women.
Exactly.
But yeah, Anthony, it's funny how life goes. You know, you're right. I would never have had him, you know, and he's like the most important thing to me now. But I guess if I'd had them earlier, they would have been the same as well.
When you look at your children and your grandchildren, you just look at them, you get this sense of accomplishment that is unbelievable. You think, you know what, I may have been this in my life, I may have been that, but look at what I've helped to create.
Yeah.
Not like a God helped create, like just a part of it that your DNA is walking about in something so far above what you ever was and ever could be.
Yeah.
It just amazes me.
What I have right now is a temporary thing. It will resolve itself over the next couple of years. So, I'll be back with my son fully. I'm not sort of distanced from him, but obviously I'm away from him at the moment. But when I go to see him, my heart fucking aches for the whole journey, And nobody's ever made me feel like that, Blimey, that ended the conversation.
Hello?
I'm still here, JJ.
I'm feeling how old are they now? They're older or young. Mine are grown up now with their own kids. So I think it was better when they was younger. It was a lot less complicated. It's even more complicated now they've grown up.
So chat, there's 14 people in the chat, and me and JJ just cliches. Are we just fondly remembering our first love as the best one, or were we true? Were we accurate? So in the chat, how do you view your first loves? Were they the one you should have stayed with, or were they the one you shouldn't never have had a relationship with? I think it's quite
Mine would
easy
say my first relationships were stupid, I think. Yeah. My first young relationships were really stupid, sort of, I don't know. As a young boy, really.
Just kids and kids, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was older than what mind-wise and everything, older and everything on that side of it, but still, it was, I don't know, it was stupid relationships, really. You didn't really get serious, not until I met Maria Moon. But we had a lot of things in common to do with family and everything, so I suppose that made a big difference.
Yeah, that helped.
Yeah. Family backgrounds and shit like that. So,
what age were you when you and Maria got together?
Young. Well, yeah, kids, I suppose, but at the same time, like, I would say that I was about 3 years older in my mind, because when I was 12, I was more of a 16-year-old. So, you know what I mean? So, got streetwise very young and everything, knew that there was arseholes out there very young. Not to believe everything that I'm told when I was very young. You know what I mean? So at the age of 12, I got pretty clued up pretty quickly. Maria Moon hadn't been in, it wasn't until she met me and then she sort of found my world rather strange with the people that I knew, although she was heavily protected by the people that I knew, because they'd never come across somebody like Maria Moon before in their entire lives. So they literally did see her as a delicate flower.
Does she understand the dreaded man flu? Oh, yes, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, seriously, she was heavily protected by the people that I knew, heavily, because they'd never come across somebody like her before. You know, so innocent and what have you. And yeah, so she was heavily protective. My children hated it, being my children when they were young, because there's no way that I never knew that if they skived, I knew it before the end of the day, because I knew so many people, the sort of people that I used to hang around with, but I knew my kids were always safe because of the people that I knew. You know, anything happens, my kids will be safe. So it's good experience, but Maria Moon, when she walked into the sort of people that I knew and everything, she did find them rather strange and what you have you, but overbearing. But within a while, I think she sensed that she was really safe around these people because, you know, especially one particular person, this female, she knows that if somebody had put it this way, I'll be in a group of people of around about 10, and if Maria Moon, somebody just give her the wrong look, the person would have 10 people all over the person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would be it. Particularly one female wouldn't hesitate to grab hold of the bottle and glass a person. That's how they were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just go, no, she isn't one of us. You know what I
sound like
mean?
you're from
do
East
not
London,
treat her.
Ron.
Hey, these people, yes, you know the sort of
That's
people.
an East
Yes, you
London
know.
thing. What you've just said is exactly the kind of the community
Yeah,
in East
that
London.
sort of crowd of people. Yeah, who wouldn't hesitate. Yeah,
Old school.
yeah, old school. Yes, mate. Yes, mate. Old school. You know what I mean? You do something, you're going to find out within a few seconds that you stepped over that line.
Close knit communities they were, weren't they, mate? Best way. It
Yes,
was just
mate.
a beautiful way to live, wasn't it? I think
Yeah.
that has sort of died now, where every sort of like every man for himself in these days, isn't it?
Yeah. Obviously, those people have all like moved on or died off now and what have you. It's one of those things as we grow older. It is what it is, mate. But
We've got to
yeah,
revive that. We've got to revive that kind of community because that was a beautiful community.
yeah, that's it. You looked after each other. You know what I mean?
Everyone
And
was
that's what
safe.
it was all about.
No one went hungry. No one went without nothing because the whole community would come.
Mhm.
You know, we used to go on outings together, street parties together. You know, it was
Yeah,
unbelievable. What? It was definitely the way it lived. That kind of culture needs to be revived. It really does. That's our culture.
yeah. It's something
Mm.
that I don't think is ever going to get back to that, Uncle JJ. I really don't. I think people are all in their own little bubbles now. And with the past 18 months, even more so deeply embedded into the bubbles now, mate. I
Yeah.
don't think
I think
it's ever going to
I think
change.
that's the ruining of our culture now. That kind of
Yeah,
mentality was the last 18 months. And I am 100% with you on that one.
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
They've got a lot to answer for.
It is a shame. It is a shame. But, oh, well, it is what it is, mate. We have to just move on with the times. But, you know, it's nice while it lasted. You know what I mean? I knew she was safe no matter what. I knew my kids were relatively safe. You know what I mean? They used to hate it. They used to come back and say, Dad, why do you have to know all these people? You might not. My problem is yours.
So
That's
yours and
age brings
Maria's
benefits with, you
story.
know.
Yeah.
So yours and Maria's story is a bit like West Side Story. You were from the rough side, and she was from the posh side.
No, not
Well, no, she wasn't from the posh side, but she hadn't been. You know, her dad was working class. Her mum was. Her dad was ex military as well, so he was very strict and what have you. Pretty laid back, but her mum and dad relationship was volatile,
It always was.
to say the least. You know, same as my family, fucking overdoses and burn themselves and aggression and all that shit. So we had that sort of thing in common. But when it come down to people that I grew up with, being the youngest, and I knew the people which all of my elders knew as well.
Well, is it about
So
us
obviously,
youngest? I'm the youngest out of a family of 8.
yeah. You know.
I know
So you
exactly
know
what you're
all
talking
of
about, being the
yeah,
youngest. You end up knowing them
yeah.
all, didn't you? And all their friends and all their friends, and you just
Yes. So you end up with not only the ages of your age, but you also got your elders, people who you
Exactly.
get to know, and you get into the clique. Yeah, you know what I mean, Uncle JJ.
The respect
You know,
that we have for our elders it goes beyond anything. You get in a car, you sit in the
yes.
back, you make that sort of thing. You let them sit in the front, and you open the
Mhm.
door or whatever. Completely different.
Yes,
And
yeah.
you learned that
So
from your people, didn't you? You learned that.
It's all been
yeah,
destroyed.
it's really nice though. Like all of my elders, all the people that they knew, they'd come up to me and they'd turn around and say, "Out of the whole of your family, we know we can trust you. You speak your mind. You don't bullshit us around, you know." And I thought, yeah, you've read me like a book. And that's how I treated them. And they said, "Joe, we like you out of the whole of your family." And these are my elders' friends saying to me, "You're the one we like." Because you don't mix your fucking words. If you got something to say, you're going to say it and take the consequences that may come after it. I thought, well,
Yeah.
it's what it is. So no, I had a lot of respect for these people, and I know you've just Uncle JJ knows. You know what I mean? It's you were safe because you was with people that
Oh yeah,
understood you. You know
everyone
what I
knew
mean?
that.
And they felt safe as well because everybody watched each other's backs. You all had
Did.
yourselves covered with each other, and that's how it should be.
Well, now it's
Yeah.
every man for himself.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
it's
not
a
that
very
way.
unfortunate. There's no respect for your elders now. There's and I know you may have heard this before when you was younger. Like the older saying, there's no respect there, but it wasn't as harsh and as real as it is now.
Hmm.
Because there is absolutely zero, and people talk to each other nasty, really nasty. I don't know what's going on. The change is dramatic, absolutely dramatic.
Yeah,
The rudeness,
yeah.
the rudeness and the anger that is going about is just God. I get cold sores on my lip where I get so stressed just seeing it, even in the streets, people like arguing all the time and God, the way they speak and all. You think if you done that in our day, you would be smashed to pieces. You wouldn't be able to speak to people like that. It just wouldn't happen.
See,
Well,
I suppose with our three children, because they grew up knowing the people that I knew and everything, and obviously they had kids and as well, so they classed each other as like one of our daughters. She classed a lot of people that I knew as cousins and shit like that. You know what I mean? Although they're not blood related, so they still grew up with those values and everything of you know, opening the doors and things like that. But obviously, when it comes down to other kids, which have just been allowed to run loose and everything and be Larry,
Yeah.
you know, see a lot of that going around. There are still some youngers which have still got the right attitude and respect and everything, but there's way too many which haven't now.
Yeah.
So many of
I
them
mean,
that don't now.
with my kids, I see that respect, but I'm actually
Mm.
definitely seeing this spiral with some of my grandkids.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I get them. I say, look, you can't speak like that. And you try and influence them to be nice, and I listen to what my mum always said. You ain't got something nice to say. Work on not saying anything, just calm yourself and things like that. But it's so hard with them because they are
Yeah.
so intent on the way that they do speak. I think they see it on the TV, they see it on this. It's all about speaking to a phone or like we are now, really. And the kids, it's just ingrained in them. They're not really having the human contact that they should. Like going out and
Yeah.
playing with kids on the street and making a go-kart. They'd rather be, fighting each other on a PlayStation or it's really weird. I don't know.
Yeah. Building yourself a go-kart and what have you. Yeah, I
You
know what you
remember that,
mean.
Ron? You'd go
Yeah,
run about,
yeah,
you'd find
yeah.
an old tram, you'd find wheels here, even when you had a
Yeah,
bike, you'd find a frame, you'd find a tyre, and you'd make your own bikes, wouldn't you?
yeah, I know, yeah. You know. I'm sure Vincent knows all this as well. I'm not sure how old Vincent is, but I'm sure he is
not
around
far
that same
behind you,
area as
Ron.
well. What's
Yeah.
that?
Well, not far behind you.
Yeah.
But this is the reason why I allowed my son to go abroad. It was always the plan to do so anyway. You know, we had everything in place there. And she used to go for 2-3 months every single year anyway, and I would go for maybe a month. But because we broke up, it made it a little bit more difficult. But I still wanted him to be there because it is literally going back 40 years there. The people are very civic. You know, there's a full community there. They look out for each other. God help the person that goes in there that's not known in the area where my son lives. You know, they get shredded. They have little or no crime, and it's just a beautiful little existence for him. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Whereas here, you know, I feared for what was happening in this country.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not going the right way at all.
There's a massive change, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, I'll end up there eventually within 2 years, maybe 3 years. I don't want to do it now. She'd probably have me killed if I went now. I need her to still calm down a lot. Maybe a 3 or 4 year sort of cooling down period is going to be essential. But at some point, I'll be there with him. I can't be away from him. You know, not sort of forever. My God.
Well, you're a parent, aren't you? You love your kids, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be dead simpler if she lived just 2 miles down the road, you know. I could have them all the time and she could go out partying or whatever she wants to do, but it's a bit more difficult when they're there.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's just hard to see the kids when they're struggling to buy this, and it's a very, what can I say, a consumer world that they want to drive these cars and they want this and they want that, and they're starting businesses and their businesses are failing, and then they're starting another one. I mean, for me to look at and see it for a parent, it breaks your heart. It really does. And they come crying to you, and you're saying, look, you just got to get up off your feet, and you never give up, and you carry on, and you do it again, you start again.
Yeah.
But
Well, this is going to be the reason for rising depression and mental health rates going forward, because the kids are being told life is really easy. Life, you know, wealth is easy to attain, and stardom and so on. It's easy to get hold of, and it's not. It's one in a million for each of them. So that's,
you hit a nail on the
you
head.
know, and kids will suffer for that. I've seen it myself. One of my best friend's sons, he tells me, he's a really good looking lad and he owns a barber shop and he's quite successful. He's only just started, he's only 23 years old, but he's doing really well. But he tells me if he doesn't get more than so many likes on Instagram, he's a bit sad for the rest of the day, you know?
My God, yes, I know what you're saying. Or on Facebook or something, if they don't get the likes that they need,
Yeah.
their whole life depends upon that.
Yeah, and let me tell you, he's an incredibly good-looking lad. But if he posts a photograph and it doesn't get enough likes, he deletes it because he feels as though it's not representative, and that's terrible.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 23.
Your son's 23?
No, my best friend's son is 23. My son's 10.
I was going to say, he lives abroad, 10. Doesn't he?
Yeah,
he lives abroad, doesn't he? Yeah,
he does. Yes.
That must be really heartbreaking then, because obviously you only allowed to see him every once in a while. Then.
Well, I can see him when I want. The court order, which I fought for a year and a half, stipulates that she has to bring him here 4 times a year, and those 4 times comprise in total of 8 weeks. I'm also meant to have every other Christmas and every other birthday, which I think is customary when you know parents split. But she's never bothered because of COVID, Ron. So she's always used COVID as an excuse. So I have to go there all the time at the moment. So when I go, I will spend 4 weeks with him. You know, we'll go and stay in Budapest or Vienna or something like that.
COVID
Just
ruins relationships. It ruins relationships as parenting and everything.
it
Oh,
does.
stop it! Don't get me into that. Give me
I
that.
try to speak to them as much as possible, and when we do talk, we're on video phone for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. You know,
Yeah,
I do feel as though I've had him ripped away from me, but at least all the technology and being able to go over there sort of makes up for it in some way.
that's the good
Yeah,
point
but
of
all
the
this
technology.
bullshit,
Yeah, you're right.
must have really been doing your head in. Like,
Well,
all this fucking, wow.
that I've been able to travel, Ron.
Oh, right, it hasn't stopped anything then.
No.
Oh,
I'm
good.
unvaxxed and refuse tests, and I still am able to travel.
Good.
Well,
So
good for you.
it's not.
Good for you,
It's not.
son. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm going again in about 3 weeks' time, which I'm looking forward to. 3, maybe 4 weeks' time. So it's
As
not
long as
for
it
long.
doesn't stop your relationship with your boy, that's all that matters, isn't it?
Exactly. I keep telling myself, JJ, it's not for long. You know, within 2-3 years, it'll all be repaired, and we're about 2 years into it, there and thereabouts, maybe a year and a half into it. So it won't be too long. And the second I pick him up and we have 4 weeks, it's just like it was. There's no gap. It's exactly how it was when I last saw him. You know.
Yeah, that's
But
the important thing, I think.
one thing that kind of amuses me is as he's getting older, he'll start to see things for himself. I mean, I'm not the one to sit there and say, look, this is what happened and your mum is this and this and the other. But as he gets older,
big mistake to do that.
Yeah.
Never, ever slag your kids off.
Oh, no.
Mrs. off to your kids. I've
Yeah.
learned that. I mean, even now, because she would always slag me off, the ex. But when I'm with my children, I never do it. I only ever say you got to get to know your mother. And I never slag her off. And actually, it's actually worked in my benefit. That
Yeah.
because they when they argue and they say, "Well, how come Daddy never slagged you off and you don't stop slagging him off?"
Yeah, we're at the point now where at Christmas and birthdays, she never sends me photographs. I always ask, and she never does. And then I get to speak to him the day afterwards. She never allows me to speak to him on the day. So, no, in fact, tell her like Christmas Day just gone. I got to speak to him on Christmas Day for the first time in 2 years. But when I have him, I make him video call her every other day, and then on the day in between, I always send photographs of what we're doing, just so she knows.
That will hold you in good stead, I promise you.
Doesn't teach her anything, JJ. She's never repaid.
What it does, it holds you in good stead in the future with your son.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Your son will remember that, and it would always say, "Well, my dad always made sure I knew you, but you do the opposite." And in the future, it would make your relationship later on in life with your son a lot better. I can tell you that from experience. I promise you, it will benefit you.
Well, the kids, they remember, don't they? They're not stupid. They do remember these things for life, and I'm aware of that.
Exactly.
You know? I've never said anything bad about his mummy to him. I have to a few people, but and I never will. You know.
That's it.
Because once that's happened, she's got between us, and I'll never allow that.
And it not only messes the children up, it will mess your later relationship up with him when he's an adult and he's starting, he's making his own decisions. He's thinking about what happened in the past and the way that you behaved to the way that he behaved, and they do, and they have, and I've had that with my children now, and that's
You're
one of the
teaching
reasons
them
I'm
how
quite
to have
close.
relationships, aren't you?
Trying to, not the way that I have a relationship, because I won't make a good relationship, but the point of is to not slag people down because you're not with them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because remember, once you was in love with her, wasn't you? And once you had good times, and so I try to remember that. I try to remember the good times rather than all the crap she put me through, and not the crap that she put me through, the crap I put her through.
Yeah.
No, it
always takes two, doesn't it?
That's it. Exactly. So that's what I try to do with my kids. That's what I have done with my kids, not try to do. And it worked in my benefit.
Yeah. I never learn no, JJ. I'll go into the next relationship as stupid as I did the last one.
Like they say, you never live in regret, just look to the future, innit?
as blindly as I did the last one.
Oh, I've made some terrible mistakes in relationships.
Somebody
All I
was
can say is I made mistakes before I met Maria Moon. So a lot
You
of
were lucky
fucking
though, Ron.
mistakes before I met Maria Moon.
I totally
I-
admire you, Ron, that you found a beautiful relationship now to you know. I'm not saying that wouldn't be a dream of mine. Of course it would. No one wants to live the rest of their life alone. But sometimes you have to like realise, like, is it going to work? Maybe it will again. You know, never give up, like they say.
Yeah, not wrong, mate. Not wrong.
Never give up.
You know what I mean?
It still happens.
Well,
Won't it?
I'm super jealous, Ron. Super jealous. I've loved that situation. But be honest, has Maria been a nightmare all through the years, or just some of them?
I'll be honest with you.
Don't answer that.
No.
You're trying to get him on.
Answer that, Ron. There'll be no duck
Remember,
roast.
Maria Moon is listening.
I'll give you an honest answer, mate. I will give this an honest answer. No, she hasn't.
Oh,
That's beautiful. Yeah, I'm kind of jealous now. I wish I had that. So good for you. And I'm also happy for you guys. I swear I am.
You know, obviously we've had our problems and everything, especially in the early stages of bringing up kids and everything. You know what I mean? We had our right fucking rows and
I'm standing
everything.
over you now with a frying pan in her hand, or are you totally free to say what you want?
It's the shotgun, mate, that I'm more wary of, which is pointing at my head at the moment.
Yeah, I know that one. I've had a shotgun marriage, so I know exactly what you mean. Literally a shotgun marriage, for real.
No, I got to say that, you know what I mean. She's, you know, we've had her ups and downs. She's kicked my head into walls and things like that.
I've done it loads of times. He chucked a knife up the stairs, but it didn't hit me.
No. In fairness, she turned around and said that I'll knife you. So I got her all the blades, axe, and everything. Oh, that was another time. So here you go. Take your fucking pick.
Yeah,
if you're gonna do it, don't talk about it. It's a whole load of things.
I don't think I want another relationship with things I got on my walls.
It's not looking as rosy over there as we first thought, JJ.
It's starting to look a little bit more dodgy, isn't it, mate?
That's the early years, you know what I mean? It's one of those things, you know, bringing up kids and what have you. Yeah, it didn't take long until we thought, oh, fuck this for a lot.
Do you think there's such a thing as a perfect relationship?
No, of course not. Especially in the early stages. I would say it's the time when you're bringing up kids and what have you is where the stressful times are, because you're stressing about your kids. It's all the responsibility. You're not, you know, and yeah, we were young with kids and what have you, and
children bringing up children.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So you know, it's all the responsibilities and everything in such a short span of time and what have you. Fuck me, it weren't boring. Put it that way.
Hard work.
Never a quiet moment.
But what an accomplishment, eh, mate? What an accomplishment! I bet you're very proud.
Yeah, I am fortunate. Very, very fortunate. So. And I do
it's funny, isn't it? When you look at your life, I mean, I look at where I've come and where I've been and where I am now. Sometimes you forget how fortunate you are. I mean, I've come from, honestly, like living on the streets and shoots and like drug addiction and all that, to having my own little place now, and you know, a nice little dog to walk about, my kids back in my life. I've got more now to feel grateful for than to feel angry about. And I forget that sometimes. I sometimes forget that. I sit here, you get in that self-pity mode and fucking hell, what's that? And then I have to really slap myself on the head and think, well, look where you was, you idiot, to what you are now. Something I thought,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
That's your
Oh,
wealth,
yeah.
JJ. That's your wealth. Your
it is.
family,
It is.
your
You're right.
home.
I'm fortunate enough to have my family still. I mean, a lot of people that I know that was in my position, in and out of jails and God knows what, really don't have their families wrapped around them, and
Yeah.
never really did have. Where I believe I did. Well, I know I did. I mean,
Like
actually,
when you're in the system, there's no second chances for them, really, is there?
that's right.
They sort
That's
of
right.
waste them.
Yeah, and then you had to come to realise that them watching you destroy yourself in that way was actually more painful than what you went through. Because they're watching
Yeah.
someone they love destroy themselves day in and day out. I've
Well, they were
never
in
ever
prison
gave
as
that a
well.
thought how painful that was.
Yeah. They were in prison as well, to a degree.
Exactly. I mean, you're all right in there. You're locked behind a door. You're getting your 3 meals a day. You're being looked after or whatever. All right, you have to deal with the ups and downs of that kind of life. But they're out there carrying on with their normal life, worrying about your life.
Yeah.
So you never realise how painful it is for people to love you. I've learned that now, I suppose. But yeah, there's a lot to feel grateful for, isn't there?
Isn't it a shame that we learn all the best things at the later part of our life rather than the early part?
Yeah, yeah. You can't live your life like wishing and with buts and if I had done and all that sort of thing, though, can you? You know. But you're
No,
right.
you can't.
It's that adage when they say, "If I could put an old head on young shoulders,"
Yeah.
you know. Look at this. Just look. Listen to me. What happened to me? And they still don't listen to people. They go crack on and do it, don't they?
You'd still make all the same mistakes you did before. I would as
Of
well.
course. Because you wouldn't be you, would you?
No.
You wouldn't be you.
And the future looks really far away when you're young, doesn't it?
Yes,
Really
it does.
far away.
And then when you get older and it's there, you think, my God, that went quicker, so quick. But
Fucking
when you're
didn't it,
sitting there
mate?
waiting for it, it's like, oh, and it's slow. You're like, 50, like, I don't know, 13, 14, you think, I can't wait till I'm 16. You're 16, you can't wait till you're 18. You're 18, you can't wait till you're 21. You get to 21, you think, fuck me, I wish I was 16 or 15 again.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You get what I mean? You get to 56,
You're
you
not
think,
wrong at
bloody
all.
hell, I want to go back there.
Yeah. Oh man.
There's no going back.
Uh-huh.
We've all got to keep
No,
marching forward.
with me and Maria Moon though, I don't know. I was off to America, mate. I was like I said, I've got American fat relatives. Two of my sisters married American Air Forcemen, and one was I was living at my sister's who's married an American over here. He was still based in one of the bases over here, and my other sister was in Atlanta, Georgia, and my sister here and my sister over there had planned my life out for me. Like they were going to give me ticket and everything to go to Georgia. I was going to have a job waiting for me over there, and then after working there for a year, I was going to come back, go to the American embassy and ask for American citizenship. I had no record or anything, so other than 2 Americans in the Air Force, I'd have been accepted.
Yeah.
Then what I was going to do then was join the Air Force, American Air Force, get a trucker's license because me brother-in-law that lived in it over here, his family lived in Washington DC, and they own their own trucking firm. So then, obviously, I was going to walk straight out of the Air Force with a full driving license to go into the trucking business. So, be trucking all over America. And one night, I just ended up going to this pub, and yeah. And then the next morning, I said to my sisters, you know those plans that we had? They went, yeah. I said, well, you can forget it all. I've met somebody.
And the rest is
It's
history.
history. Yeah.
I think you guys should do an online relationships counselling course, maybe, or
Blimey, can I be in? Can I be first?
teaching us guys that ain't got a clue how to make relationships work.
I wouldn't know where to fucking
Where
start.
would you start?
Just
Jesus.
the stories that you
exactly.
tell. I mean, they're great. I mean, and they're interesting, and they're God. The knowledge you could probably put into Ian Vincent's head would be priceless.
It's just
You
a
could
chain
call
of
it Last
events.
Chance Saloon Run for me.
Yeah, it's just a
Make a
chain
list
of
of
events.
how you've made your relationships work, and let the guys like us know, so that we're forewarned and prepared for the next exciting episode of
I
our
don't
lives.
think it can be taught, JJ. I don't think it can be taught. It's
Yeah,
I
has
think
to be has to be
ingrained.
done, experienced, doesn't it?
You have to be lucky and find the right person as well.
Yeah, that's what it was. Literally just pure luck. I wasn't looking for. That's what I mean. I was about 4 weeks, 6 weeks away from leaving the country. I didn't have to worry about ticket or anything. You know, everything was going to be paid for me. You know, I was going to go to Peterborough, get my what they call passport, everything. You know what I mean? Everything was going to be paid for me to get out of this country. Everything, and place to live, job waiting for me, everything. I didn't have to do nothing.
Wow.
But
Could
I
have all
was
been
her
different for you,
hero
Ron.
in shining armor. But that's for another story.
Yep, I've
I
been that
was a
night
hero.
many times. I promise you, that knight in shining armour, and then became the monster.
Yes. No, seriously.
She became the witch.
That was one of my good points in my life. I was a knight in shining armor.
Good for you.
And that's how I got to meet her, yeah.
Now there's a
pulled
story
her
I
out
look
of
forward
a
to.
problem.
I mean, all I've got is the armour now, really, and they're on my walls.
Yeah, I've seen your stuff. Yeah, I think you got some really wicked stuff, mate.
Oh, I've got
I'd love
some
to be
puppies
able to
here.
come and see that one day.
Oh,
Really
definitely.
nice.
You ever around Essex, you come in and see my little collection, you'll love it.
Yeah, I do like that sort of stuff.
I don't know. It's always sort of fascinated me, like the medieval times, the days of chivalry, and
Yeah,
that's the real
exactly.
where not the added pressures of modern times, but the days of old, where you got on your horse, you had your armour on, you had to go into battle. You put your coat down for women to walk across, a puddle or whatever. That times, and then it just fascinates me. I don't know. Fascinates me. Love it. I think I was born in the wrong era, or maybe I was in that era. If it's true incarnation, who knows? And I miss it.
Well, you grew up with those values, mate.
With that, yeah.
Yeah, the chivalry and everything. Yeah, I know, mate.
It was like that back in the day in East London. You weren't taught to any other way, really. It's just the way it was. We didn't have a pot to piss in, but we had a hearty meal every night. My mum would mate, you got your one present for Christmas, whatever that was. You loved it and appreciated it like you wouldn't believe. One present for a birthday, and it wasn't nothing extravagant or crazy. It could be a Tonka toy, a little car or something like that.
You're not wrong.
That toy was the business. It meant the world to you.
Yeah.
Them days are just. I mean, like Christmas, I went to with my daughters, and my God, the grandkids. I think I put it on the Telegram group I'm on. I showed them all. She gets them around that tree. You wouldn't believe the presents. They have all their section. They've got an whole room full up with presents. Three young boys, and you're talking between 20 and 50 presents each. And it's just open them one after the other. They open. Oh, look at that! That's nice. Throw that to the side. Oh, look at this one. This is nice. Put that to the side. Oh, look at this one. This is nice. And, my God, I would open that one present up and be playing with it forever, and it would mean the world.
I remember our first grandson's Christmas fucking hell did he get spoilt. We got a wall which is about 10 foot long, I would say, and the presents stuck out from the wall around about 3 foot,
Exactly.
and they were poled up around about 4 or 5 foot high. A whole family.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We could have lost him in the presents, but that was our first grandchild. Everybody spoilt him to fuck. He had anything and everything,
Exactly.
even though he couldn't use most of it. You know what I mean? Because we just kept on buying things. You know,
Yeah.
Shopping Line. Remember Shopping Line on TV? Sky Shop. Yeah, that's
I
where
know
we
what
fucking spent. Oh man, you know.
I mean, it's beautiful and it's nice, but it just seems to be something in it that I don't know that's been lost. If you know what I mean? There's something there that's been lost that needs to be revived, or well, probably never will be. Probably
Yeah, and
never
what did
will
he
be.
find his favourites? Was the wrapping paper and the boxes, really.
There you
wasn't
go.
it?
They're playing with
And the
boxes and
bowl.
wrap it. The same. That's the same value, I suppose. That's a good thing to look
Yeah.
at, Ron. You're right. Because that's exactly.
Yeah.
We would, as kids, would rather play with a box than a toy, wouldn't we?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So, bless them.
Do you
Oh,
remember
to be young
what they
again.
called Evil Knievel things? You put the motorbike on the thing and you spin
Wind
this
it up.
handle round and you wind it up and then the motorbike goes flying down the road. Evil Knievel. You remember?
Yeah, I remember having that, mate.
Yeah. Oh my God! If we had
Yeah.
that now in the box, it'd be worth thousands.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we used to make little ramps. I used to make ramps so it could jump over the ramp. This was indestructible. It really was.
Oh, simpler days, but had so much fun.
Oh, without
Just to
doubt.
go out
You
with a tennis
appreciate it more.
racket,
Yeah.
a tennis racket and a ball and a wall.
Exactly.
That's all you needed.
Yep.
Have loads of fun.
Or if you was really lucky, you'd find somewhere where you could put a bit of string up and make a makeshift like net, and you and your pal could knock the ball over and think you was a tennis star. Or
Yeah, I know.
great days.
Now it's computers and on the Xbox.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy. I don't know.
Good times, guys.
Yeah, you had to be creative when we were kids. Very creative.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh man.
Yes, it's still kind of like that in the Czech Republic. My son complains. Yeah, my son complains because he gets dragged into all of the theatres productions at school. You know, the little musicals. They've got a big stage. Every village and every town there has got a big stage in the centre, the sort of the town
I've got some
square.
good friends from there. You know, Prague. I went there to watch my son do a rapping thing. He does rapping. He went over to Prague in the Czech Republic. And I've still talked to a lot of friends from there on Facebook and through Messenger. It was a beautiful place. I loved it there.
Yeah, good people.
Yeah, very nice.
My son's forced up onto the stage in the town centre to do carols and all, and he hates it. They never had to do it here. He's only been there a year and a half in essence, and he hates it. But it's like going back 40 years in time, you know.
Oh my God, you wouldn't appreciate that. Love it.
Yeah, the old values of that sort of. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And all the kids are in Scouts, so he has to go to Scouts, and he had 2 weeks in the mountains on Adventure Scouts, which he loved eventually.
God.
Didn't want to do it.
That's beautiful. That really is.
Yeah.
I didn't really know it was like that out there because, you know, I only went to Prague. Like I said, I went to the concert that my son was doing. You know, they do the rapping, the grime.
Yeah, still traditional value. They're incredibly nationalistic there, which is a good.
What I found is one of the boys out there, they come round, and when we went out, we was treated like royalty. We really was. And this young man, I said, look, I will pay you, or I think it was 1,000 something I gave him. I said, will you drive us about and make sure we end up back at the airport? he didn't even want to take the money. I forced the money onto him. He said, "No, I would do this anyway." And I'm like, "No, I want you to take some money. I want to pay our way." But
Yeah.
what beautiful people! They bent over backwards to make our stay absolutely first class.
Yeah.
It was. You're right. They have different. It's a completely different value system over there, isn't it?
I bet you like the food.
Yeah, it's lovely. We went to some beautiful restaurants, and this thing I forget what it's called, goulash or something.
Goulash, yeah.
Some kind of goulash they made. Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful.
Well, that's a Hungarian dish, but goulash is my favourite soup or meal in the Czech Republic. When it's done proper, it's just incredible.
Yeah, it was really nice. They took us to this like traditional place where it was made as well, and it was like really, really nice.
Well, if you have a look on my channel, JJ, you'll see lots of driving around Prague
Yeah,
in my videos.
yeah. I will. I'll have a look. I'll have a look at that.
Yeah, I don't like
pictures
Prague.
I've still got the pictures. I have to look some of them up. That's when we with all the rapping people out there. It's a different thing out there. They know how to rap. They speak great English because of the rapping. They got into the rapping. And they learned. I mean, everyone out there, you won't believe how they speak better English than I do.
Yeah.
Really
Well,
beautiful.
the kids are taught English from a very early age, and then they're taught Russian from about 11, 12.
Yeah.
But my son corrects the English teacher, of course, which irks her. He reckons she doesn't like it when she gets a slight mistake in English and he corrects her. Bless him.
Czech Republic, Czechoslovakia. They said that
Yeah,
about the
well,
Russians when the Russians owned it.
both of those are inaccurate now. They changed the name about 3-4 years ago to Czechia. That's the new name for the
Really?
Czech
I thought it was
Republic.
still called the Czech Republic.
No, it's on official documents. It's Czechia, but absolutely nobody acknowledged it. So everyone still uses the Czech Republic. But yeah, they officially changed the name to Czechia, which is
When
terrible.
we were kids, it was called Czechoslovakia, wasn't it?
It was, yes. It was until 1979 and the Velvet Revolution. They managed to get rid of the Russians.
It's really funny, I remember being a kid and writing an essay, and they used to say, "Where would you like to go in the world?" And I wrote, "I want to go Czechoslovakia." Right? I just wanted to find this really weird name and this really weird country to write about when I was in school, and then years later, I ended up going there.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, every village. I mean, this has got to be surely enough reason for any young man to go. Every village has a lake that they'll use in the summer, and it was just like you used to see in the movies when you were young. All these sort of Europeans gathering around the lakes, like the Swedish and the French and so on. And they're just dreamy, but they also have a nudist section. Every single one of these lakes has a nudist section.
Oh, wow.
And very liberated. They are very liberated.
I found them a very, very nice people. Very intelligent.
Yeah, they are.
Very intelligent. With a lot of morals,
Yeah, they are good people. There's a few bad elements in Prague because of the red light district.
Yeah,
They're
I
getting
know.
a lot of undesirables there. And I'm not a fan of Prague anyway. I don't really like it very much at all.
Yeah.
I prefer Brno, which is the
I think it was
second
very,
city.
what's that word? Bohemian? When I was there, the architecture and all that. I think it's called Bohemian. I think I'm right.
Yeah, well, the area is Bohemia. That's its oldie worldy name.
Yeah.
It's split into Bohemia and Moravia, and my son lives in Moravia, which is about 200 kilometers away from Prague.
Yeah, I mean the architecture is amazing in some of the buildings.
Prague has got a lot of con men in it as well, isn't it? Well, con people.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
Prague. Yeah. I saw that there's somebody in Prague who's got his own YouTube channel, and he shows the amount of street con artists there are.
Yeah.
And what have you. Yeah, I've watched a few of his videos, and he exposes them and what have you. They're pretty good videos.
Yes.
I think I was very
They
fortunate
only
that
target tourists.
the people that we met, because it was arranged through my son's grime network, they're rapping and all this. So we was fortunate to get to know some good people out there that took us to the right places, kept us away from the wrong people, So we didn't really. So when I went out there it's only for a weekend. We didn't really get to see the seedy bits. It was all really nice. It was done beautifully.
Did you walk around the red light district, JJ?
No, I wished I did. I did ask.
It's
and
horrible.
That's not even a lie. I did ask.
It's an
the naughty
ugly
parts.
place,
Then
honestly.
the naughty parts reminded me of Whitechapel. To be honest, it was quite like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't much different from where I was born and brought up. The seedy part. We only drove through there, didn't get to stop off.
You
I was
see
with
some
my
very
son, and I had
strange
to
things.
put on a good impression with my son and his mate.
I've got a friend there who lives up in a place called Liberec, which is real north. It's probably just on the border of Poland, within about 10 kilometers. And every so often I'll meet him in Prague, and we'll have a night out, and then I sort of drive back to where I live, and then he'll go back off to Liberec on the train, and we walk around the red light district every single time, just chatting. You see some of the strangest things there. Oh my lord, it's like a freak's circus as you're walking around.
Yeah, next time I go out there, I think that's what I'm going to make a point of walking
You
about.
must, yes. Don't get
And the
dragged
red
into
light
any of the
district.
places, because
Yeah.
you won't get out without paying 50 euros, or the equivalent of in drinks, for 2 drinks.
Similar to
That's
Holland,
what we
really.
do.
But Holland's very clean the way they do it. I mean, I found it in Amsterdam very organised. And I did walk about there red light district, I would admit.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I've never been to Amsterdam, but I'm aware that it's very controlled, because it's all
very
legalized.
controlled, very organised. It was, it didn't feel seedy, because none of them, I think it's the atmosphere you get from the people. It's nothing to them. It's normal. It's a business, that sort of thing. And it didn't feel bad at all. And it was, it's nice. I liked it.
Yeah.
Latvia was nice as well. I went to Latvia on a stag night.
Did you go to Riga?
Actually, I think that's the place it was called.
Yeah.
Went there. That's when you see. I've got my pictures. I'm holding the guns. I've got these 2 guns. We went to the shooting courses there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. That's where I met my relationship. I wished I'd never broke up from. It was a Magnum. Oh my God! When I held that gun, and I am a crack shot. Trust me, with shotguns and guns, and I mean I can hit the point every time. But I've never had a Magnum. Like the 45 caliber, I think it's called, Magnum.
Yeah.
When I held that and shot that baby, my God, I didn't want to give it back. I mean, I was saying, no, it's got to come with me, please. I'm in love.
Well, with your connections, JJ, surely you can get one in this country.
I mean, I could, but it's not going to happen.
No, of course you can't, JJ.
I mean, yeah. All the rough stuff that I used to have, really, I mean, I had to get rid of it quite a while back. Can't be done. It still doesn't mean, but when you do hold a gun, it's just the power.
Yeah.
It's just the power you have in your hands. And know that anything in front of you is going down. They're going. It does. So it's quite scary. That's why, never give a person a gun like me, really.
The time before last that I was there, me and a lad went just driving off. There's a mental asylum, which is just north of where my son lives. And it's the most beautiful castle-like building ever, but it's a mental asylum. And you can't get very near it, but to see it from a distance, it's just astounding.
Nothing like the places I've been there.
And as we were heading out there, we parked up and had a little picnic, opened up the back of the car, and I made a cup of tea and stuff like that because I carry all that
Yeah.
stuff. And not very far from us, maybe 200-300 yards, there was a group of tourists doing the AK-47s.
Oh, that's what I had. An AK-47. I've got pictures of it.
It's music, you know.
Oh, it
They
is.
were on a controlled range,
Yeah.
and just incredible.
See, in Latvia, where we won, you're allowed to fire the AK-47s in the places that we went, but you're not allowed to fire them when they're on automatic.
Right.
You're allowed to fire them a single shot. You can fire them on the ranges out there at single shot, but you could not fire them automatic. And then when I got it, I just wanted to go like that. No, we're not allowed this. We're not allowed this.
These ones I heard were on automatic. I can tell you that for sure.
Rat-a-tat-tat. Oh,
yeah. Amazing.
Even the noise does something for me. I know exactly what you're saying. But yeah, the way places we went, I was gutted. I said, why can't I fire it up properly? I don't want to fire it properly. No, you're not allowed here. It's only single shot.
Yeah. I wonder if that's because of the cost of the rounds more than any legalities.
I'd have paid anything. It wouldn't have mattered. I'd have paid any of it. I was there, you know, I had my dollars. So I don't think it was to do with money. I think it was to do with legislation or
maybe
to deal with that. That weren't to do with money because I offered. You know, I said, I'll pay you loads extra. I want to. No, we cannot do this. They won't have it.
Yeah.
There's no love of money couldn't get through to these people. They won't let you do it. But no, you can fire again, single shot, boom, boom, boom. And they are deadly accurate. Them guns, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, they are deadly. It's like the accuracy on them guns is unbelievable. Even without a sight, you don't even need a sight. You just look down at the barrel, boom, boom, boom. They're hit a penny from like 100 yards away. Beautiful.
An amazing weapon. He built one, and that's the one they still use today, effectively, apart from add-ons.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think that it was like the perfection, wasn't it? They sort of found a gun and made a perfection from that gun, and they're still used to this day. Very, very, very beautiful, powerful gun.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. Antonov something.
A Russian guy, wasn't it?
Yes, Russian designer. Engineer. He wasn't even into guns, I don't think, but he designed it perfectly for them. So I'd recommend anyone to go and look at the Central Europe and Eastern Europe as well. Amazing places. Belarus is quite an experience. I've been to Belarus, been into Ukraine a little bit. My two favorites are Hungary and Austria.
I've never been. I'd like to. So Europe, I can get into. I mean, I found I don't know what it's like now, but I couldn't get into America or Australia. I've got family in both, and they wouldn't let me out there.
Yeah, you're okay with Europe. Europe has no restrictions.
I was fine with Europe. That was it. So I've been to a few, not many, but I've been to a few European things. I was easy getting in and out of there with my passport. Apart from the medications I have to take, and I have to get home office approval for that to take my medications out. But easy. When it comes to America or Australia, they point blank refused even visas because the criminal record with the firearms and all that. They just, which I found so ironic.
Yes,
because like America, you're talking about America, land of the free, the gun. They got guns coming out your eyeballs, and I got a couple of stupid firearms offences, and they won't have me out there.
Well, even money won't improve your chances. I've known quite a few people who have attempted to get around the rules, and it's not possible.
So it's not even worth me trying again in the future, is it? So it's not going to let me out there because there's a few other charges like that put on me, but by mistake. But
well, that leaves the rest of the world for you to
it does.
at, though, isn't it?
But I'd love to go to America because I've got some really good mates in Florida, and they're always inviting me out. Always like come on, man, come out here, man, and all this. And God, I've tried a few times, and they just refuse me every time. Point blank refusal. Won't let me out there.
I wonder if there's a limitation on that, i.e., after a certain number of years.
I don't know. Oh, I've gone and ruined it now because of buying them stupid things online, you know. And I've got another firearms charge, so that starts again, doesn't it?
I always remember that drugs offences means that you can't travel to the
Yep.
US.
I've got them as well.
Yeah,
So,
but that
you know,
was as simple as being arrested for smoking
a joint.
what's it called? A joint. That's it. I couldn't even think
Yeah.
of the word.
Yeah.
So it's archaic rules, isn't it? They've pretty much legalized it there
Well,
now.
even I was
So,
like, even when I was sort of, you know, clean for many years, and I worked alongside probation, worked in rehabs and all that. Even then, I still applied and still couldn't get out of there.
yeah,
Even after being clean and after, you know, proving that, you know, and working alongside like loads of people, working in jails. Even I was even working in jails like for drug addiction and all that in Brixton Prison, Wandsworth. I was going in and out of Feltham, running the NA meetings and everything, and still applied, still couldn't, still didn't have a chance. A point blank refusal.
yeah.
And
Mad, isn't it?
you never live things down, Vincent. To be honest, no matter how hard you try.
Well, I remember Tyson Fury's father struggles. He can't travel to America because he's got a couple of aggravated assault charges
Yeah,
that
yeah,
he's served time for. So if he can't get out there, I'd
yeah.
say anyone else would pretty much struggle. Because he would be going out there for work purposes. But,
Exactly.
yeah,
I love Tyson Fury, man.
yeah, me too.
When it comes to a fighter, he inspires me, that man, more than any other athlete that I've known. Even Muhammad Ali, because I used to love, you know, Cassius Clay and Muhammad Ali. Well, same person, but I used to love that guy. I thought he was, you know, he was totally my hero. But when this Tyson Fury come out and what he's come from and what he's achieved, the man just blows me away.
Yeah,
Absolutely, he is pure inspiration. That man comes from the depths of hell with mental health. He you know, obese from the tablet, you know, that you get. Like me now, really, because certain medications that I have to take, it's really hard to lose weight. You just become a big beast, you know. But he comes from that and from the mental illness, from the depths of hell, to become to like a world champion, a world bloody champion. And he advocates mental health, and that man is a truly good man.
he is. He's a
He
role
knows where
model.
he's come from. He knows where he could go, and he's fought his way out. Like, you know, he rose from the ashes, and yeah, what a man! What a man to
Yeah,
look
he's a
up to.
complete role model.
I think, yeah, for kids, for anyone, you know, adults, kids, anyone who suffers like mental health, or just to show you that there's hope and you can come from this and become this. You
Yeah,
know, I would definitely recommend anyone to watch his path and see the road that he's travelled. 100%.
yeah. His book is amazing as well. If anyone's into biographies, his story is amazing
I'd have to
and
get that. I
super
mean,
funny.
I have to do the audible ones because, well, I can read, but it hurts my head.
Well, the Audible
Reading
ones,
a page, and I
I've
have to
had a
read
few
one
Audible
page. It
books.
takes me 6 months to read a book. Trust me, I cannot get through one page without forgetting what was written, and then the words like go up and down and start moving about, and my head starts banging. Audible books, listening, I like them better.
Yeah, I've done quite a few in driving. I used to have to drive up to Scotland quite a lot, and it's like listening to the Archers, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I used to sort of just download them illegally. I'd download 400 or 500 sort of audio books at one time, and just have one on.
Yeah. I always found like, you know, when I was in jail and you've got plenty of time wrapped around you, it was easier then to read books because you can sit in your cell, get a book that you can concentrate more, you know.
Yeah,
It was the days before you had tellies and all that. So I did read a few and I found it, that's how I learnt to read them. Right? It was down the block and reading books certainly in jail, but because where I was dyslexic, it took me ages and ages and ages. That you can actually, when you are and you learn to read, you can dive into that book and you can be in the actual place. I mean,
yeah,
it's amazing. It's better than watching any film. Your
yeah. It's
mind is much
true.
more powerful. You can actually be inside that book, can't you?
I can't get my little fella to read books, which disappoints me greatly, because I was an avid book reader from about 7, 8 years old. But he just has no taste for it, because obviously there's more attractive things like Roblox, and Minecraft, and so on.
Yeah, same with my grandkids.
He'll only read the books that he absolutely has to, you know. So, and it's a shame, really, because they are very immersive, and I think the character building as well.
Much better. My mum would read one book a day without fail. My brother, my surviving brother, because one of my brothers died last year or the year before. My brother David, he never ever without a book on the go or 2 books on the go ever.
Yeah.
He took my mum's traits. I mean, I really get a bit jealous sometimes, because I wish I would have had that trait. I wish I never had the dyslexia, you know. Because my mum was so wise. She read book after book after book. There wasn't much. She was so well read that she sort of knew everything, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had crazy times where I would just literally hammer through a book in one go, you know. But yeah, I kind of miss it. But there's so much going on, JJ. So many other things that you have to do during your working day, you know.
Exactly.
And yeah,
distractions.
There is.
Anyway, listen, I'm going to catch you guys later. I've got to make a coffee and a bit of brekkie and take loads of tablets, as you do.
Yeah, I'm off anyway, JJ. I've got to get a little bit of sleep before today starts. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, it's really nice to talk to you, Vince. I'll pop over again. I really like these chats. It's nice to sit and talk with a person.
Welcome anytime,
drama.
Yeah, never no drama around here. Trust me. Never.
A good conversation. I've always liked talking to Master Ron, because we can have a decent
I've always enjoyed talking to you, Uncle JJ.
You get to listen, don't you? You can have a proper conversation rather
than
rah stuff. Anyway, God bless you all. I'll see you later.
Have a lovely
love
day.
You all, guys. See you later, chat. See you later,
bye.
You take care.
I'm going to pop off to bed, Ron. I've got quite a busy day today, so I'm going to try and get 3-4 hours before I start.
Okay then, mate. Well, it's been nice chatting to you. Thanks for opening one up.
Yeah, you too.
Catch you later, mate.
Don't forget, it's the Tommy Robinson thing today as well in Telford.
That's what it is today. Yes, because I saw Queen of Freedom. She's got a video up.
Yeah.
And I knew something was going on today, some sort of protest or something. But yeah, that was on. That's it. Yep.
And if you want to see the video simulcasted, you have to sign up to Getter to get that. I'm not signed up to Getter yet. I don't know if I'll have time to do it today to sort of coincide with it. I'm going to try and watch it about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock if I can.
Yeah. Okay then, mate.
Have a lovely day, both of you.
And you take care, mate. And we'll speak to you at some point.
Yeah, see you soon.
Bye, everybody in chat. Lovely seeing you all. You all take care of yourself and have a nice day. Bye, mate.
Cheers, Ron. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheers, chat. Have a lovely Saturday. Has anyone got anything fantastic they're doing? Have you got Saturday all mapped out? Or are you going to bed like I am? Well, only for 3-4 hours. Cheers, Uncle JJ. See you all soon, guys. Bye-bye.